Do you know that one of the most legendary rock music songs was inspired by a Persian poet, or one of the Rolling Stones' famous hit Jumping Jack Flash was named after their guitarist Gardner, or even one of the most grooving David Bowie song was about to be a soft rock ballad until he met the funk musician Nile Rodgers. Actually, there are plenty of amazing facts behind every song, and today we're gonna unfold and see some untold stories behind 4 classical rock music songs. However, I won't be able to figure out what Geldouche Geldouche, Shampoing Shampoing lyrics mean, because otherwise I will go insane and I may نحط راسي في الراية. رول! Hello everyone, you're in the Algerian Black Pearl. Welcome to the second episode of your old-fashioned podcast, the Rockin Fella. And here we have as an official slogan, جديد حبه والقديم موت عليه. I've always had a strong and deep belief that a song it's not only a range of lyrics and sounds and melodies, but it's rather an emotional witness from an artist about what he felt or what he lived during a certain period of his life. And believe me, if you dive into your favorite song lyrics and genesis, you will enjoy it further like you never did before. So our first song for today will be Layla by Eric Clapton. But before we go any further, let me just say a few words about this period of Eric Clapton's life. So we were in 1970, and after having a brilliant career with the iconic band The Cream, Eric Clapton tried a new adventure with Steve Winwood and the Blind Faith, but the things didn't work out. Then Eric moved to the United States of America in order to get closer with his blues influence, and then he formed his own band, Derek and the Dominos. At this time, Eric Clapton fell in love with Patti Boyd, who was simply the wife of the Beatles guitarist and mostly the friend of Eric Clapton, George Harrison. But slowly, Eric Clapton understood that it would not be possible to be with Patti Boyd, and then Eric Clapton was off color. In other words, كان ممحون مغروم ومغبون. Instead of replying to Patti Boyd Instagram stories, Eric Clapton decided to express his sadness and sorrow in a very original way by writing a song for Patti Boyd. And for this record, he hired a brilliant young guitarist from the Allman Brothers band called Duane Allman. Wait a minute. You don't know who was Duane Allman? Stick around, next time we will find out more about this brilliant man. Since he joined the band, Duane and Eric started to jam for days and nights in order to find the right tune, until Eric Clapton went through a poem written by the Persian poet Nizami and called Majnoon wa Layla. Come on, I know that for once in your life you've been acting as Qais or Layla. And then Eric Clapton recognized his sadness and his sorrow through the struggle of Majnoon, and he decided in a heartbeat to name the song Layla. Beyond being an immortal love song, Layla was one of the greatest guitar duets of all time, when the melodies were inspired by Albert King's song As the Day Go Passing By. Don't bring out your Kleenex. Eric Clapton married Patti Boyd in 1979. But they get divorced after a little while. Our second song for today would be Black Magic Woman by Santana. This song has an amazing genesis, and I would like you to know that this song was originally composed and released by Fleetwood Mac in 1968, and this record was inspired by Howlin' Wolf song Who's Been Talking. But 2 years later, a young Latin American guitarist decided to revive and to put his own spin on this song, and then he spread a magical recipe made from Cuban rhythms, some conga beats, and a lovely voice of Greg Rowley and the majestic electric guitar tunes, and he put all these elements in the famous Bassina of Walid to have the greatest hit, Black Magic Woman. And beyond the ending of this song is only a remake of Hungarian jazz song called Gypsy Queen and composed by Gabor Szabó in 1965. The royalties generated by this song helped the founder of Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green, to get back to the track since he lost all his money when he left Fleetwood Mac in the 70s. What a gentleman man, this Carlos Santana. And since we are talking about kindness, let's move to our next song, Because the Night by Patti Smith and Bruce Springsteen. We were in 1977 when Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band were recording their fourth album, The Darkness on the Edge of Town. But at the end of the recording, inspiration was failing Bruce Springsteen, and he composed only a draft of Because the Night, and he wasn't up to add this record to his album. But one day his sound engineer told him about a rising female artist called Patti Smith, who was just recording his album Easter in the studio next to him, and he advised him to give the song to this artist. At this time, Patti Smith was living a love story with his future husband Fred, and they had long-distance relationship since they were living in two different towns far away from each other. And because ما كانش عندهم الميلينيوم والماسنجر والفايبر, they used to have only one phone call per week. But one night when Patti Smith was waiting to her lover call, he listened to the tape given by Bruce Springsteen and started to write down her feeling in the heat of the moment. And she built up the song Because the Night. And now you can imagine Patti Smith sitting alone in her hotel room, longing and lusting for his lover call, and especially when she said, "Have I doubt when I'm alone? The love is a ring, the telephone." And nowadays, love is when you follow this podcast on the social media. So our last song for today may sound familiar to you. So if I say, "Sheriff, don't like it," you will certainly reply, "Rock the Casbah, Rock the Casbah." Well, Rock the Casbah was a song by the British rock punk band The Clash, which was released in 1982 and fully composed by their drummer Topper Headon. There are plenty of versions about the origin of this expression, but according to what the frontman of the band, Joe Strummer, said, he had been toying with this expression years before, since he listened to his friend playing some Arabic and Oriental sound with his violin. And this song is actually referring to the walled North African towns, and especially the Algerian Casbah.
1, 2, 3, viva l'Algérie!
This song is a fabulous story about an imaginary kingdom when the music was forbidden, and when the king ordered to put in jail everyone who made listen to the music. And then the crowd who was living in the Casbah struggled against this ban by listening to the music and boogieing and just rocking. And if I'm not mistaken, the key message behind this song is, although if you had the strongest and the most powerful order between your hands, but you will never deprive people of loving music and arts. And this song had a huge commercial success in the United States chart, and there are a plenty of remake and cover of this song, such as the Will Smith version, the Richard Cheese version, and even my own version. Listen up. Anis will like it if you follow his Insta, follow his Insta. And indeed, the most terrific cover of this song is the one which was made by our national rocking dad, Rashid Taha, Allah yarhamou. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed all these stories. But before the end of this episode, I would love to share with you some inspiring words coming from John Fitzgerald Kennedy's speech, who said, "The highest duty of a writer, a composer, or an artist is to remain true to himself." Here I am, Anis. See you next time. Meanwhile, take care of yourself and of our lovely and precious Casbah.